YouTube podcast world. What's up, family? Y'all already know the name, man. Pace and Plays podcast. Going to be giving you upset alert week one picks to watch out for. This segment, listen, I you can check out the last one where I did the whole slate breakdown, but this one in particular, I think kind of gave the channel a little bit more of a pop because everyone's looking for upsets, everyone's looking for good value. And listen, I can kind of say I think the video that started off for me was the divisional playoff round. That one did kind of help out a lot. But let's get right into it. We'll be doing this every single week in the playoffs, of course. All right. So let's start right into it. Titans plus 4.5, right? Now I mentioned why I'm not really for one, I think it's wild that a rookie quarterback for his first start should get damn near 5 points, right? I just think that's kind of like abysmal to me. Maybe 3 points, but not damn near five. No. And like I mentioned, we've seen what Caleb Williams can do in the preseason against bench warmers pretty much, right? We want to see the whole real thing. And the Titans can be one of the most underrated sleeper teams, right? I didn't even mention about Will Levis coming back. Like he has experience under his belt. And I already mentioned about the three receivers. And I just really look at the Bears defense. I mean, other than Sweat and Tremont Edmonds, can y'all name me, well, and Jalen Johnson, right? Can y'all name me any other players that can impact that team? You don't have another pass rusher. There's no more, there's not a good interior defensive lineman. There's concern, at least for that. Now, the Bears do have a okay running game, you would think, with Swift, but we know Swift's bound to get hurt. Who's blocking Justin Simmons for the Titans? Who's blocking him? I mean, this defense is still kind of intact. This is still damn near variable defense, just with a new coach and everything. So I expect this to be close, but I just don't think giving the Bears 4.5 points with a rookie quarterback should be a good thing to start with anyway. Next one I want to talk about New England plus 9.5. Now, this team might be one of the worst overall rosters, but we don't know what Gerard Mayon coaching style is going to be for a serious game. So I'd rather pick an unknown than somebody that I already know with Zach Taylor. How many times have we seen? You can look at it. We've seen the first few weeks. We've seen it last year. They start slow, and I had them losing to Cleveland week one last season, so it wasn't a shocker to me, but they always start very sluggish and slow, right? And we got to think, is Joe Burrow going to be 100% healthy? This is the problem with Joe Burrow we're starting to see. The offensive line, there's been holes, there's been problems. You know, can they get it together? And then with the receiver core, you have to think about the psychological mindsets. Chase wants another contract. He hasn't been practicing. T. Higgins, is going to do whatever he got to do, but there's problems in that defense. I mean, for the Patriots, we know Christian Gonzalez can play. I'm not saying he may have to check Jamar Chase, but I don't think he have a problem with doing that. And you just can't sleep on this defense, man. This defense still, even without getting rid of Matthew Judon, they still should still be okay. It's the offense that you have to worry about. And with the Bengals defense, they lost Reader, so we're going to find out quickly if they can stop the run because we know the Patriots is going to probably do nothing but be a really run first tier team for most of the season. And I just you just have to hope Brissett does not turn the ball over because he's bound to do that. And I think when you a defensive coach like Gerard Mayo, you're really looking for a quarterback that's not going to make a lot of mistakes. That's why I think he waited for Drake May, even though he did say Drake may outplay Brissett in the preseason. So I'm really kind of confused on that one. Next one I want to talk about Cardinals plus 5.5 now. I said I took it at plus 7. We know Kyler Murray when he's healthy, when he's able to play. We know so listen, we know what Kyler Murray, the first 2 months of the season, he goes crazy. Then once Call of Duty comes out, you see how his production just drops. So I'm just banking on him pretty much doing what he usually does in the first 2 months of the season, just to ball out. We know this Bills defense. I mean, I don't know who's going to be the guy to step up for him. And I can pretty much see Kyler Murray just running around spinning around and trying to make a throw because this guy is electric when he's healthy. We have to admit that, all right? I know there's a lot of problems with him within the organization. You know, his contract saying he has to watch film, which you should be doing that anyway. But listen, and then with the Cardinals defense, we know that's going to be the concern. You know, and I always say when you are specialized in something, you're supposed to be attacking that quickly. And I think with Gannon, that pass rush, they got some players, man. We know Buda Baker is going to show up. My only concern is when it comes to the fourth quarter, does this team still keeps it close? Because 1 through 3 quarters, they can keep everything close from what I remember. They kept everything close, and then the fourth quarter, they just shit the ball. And that's what you don't hope in a game like this. Broncos plus 5.5. Yeah, this has to be alert because I mean, we know Sean Payton we got to respect Sean Payton as a coach. You just have to. And with Bo Nix, he honestly, as much as Jaden Daniels has gotten love, Caleb Williams, I think Bo Nix can be in a conversation for Rookie of the Year. Not saying he'll win it, but we'll see throughout the season. He got the coach that can actually mature him really quickly. And since, you know, when you get quoted as maybe the next Drew Brees in Sean Payton's eyes, I think that's a good sign. And we've seen a little bit of athleticism. He has more athleticism than I ever seen him ever, ever. I don't even think I've seen that athleticism like that in Oregon. So this should be a good one. With the Seahawks, like I mentioned, man, McDonald, I'm pretty much banking on this defense to try to do something, but this defense still is kind of they got to figure it out at least week one. We know what the offense will do. So, like I said, man, 5.5 though, that's a lot. You're pretty much banking on the Seahawks to win by 6 points or a touchdown. It could happen, but I'm probably leaning towards a game-winning field goal, which means the Broncos can cover the plus 5.5. Next game, Panthers, right? Plus 4.5, plus 5, whatever you got your number at. Right. The public, I have a feeling, is going to be all over New Orleans because they think, well, last season the Panthers were this bad and they roster. Listen, that is last season. This is a brand new season. This roster isn't like one of the worst rosters in this whole NFL. It's not, right? The offensive line, I think, is the one thing you will have to watch out for, right? But they got some running backs now. They got some receivers. And I mean, I know you got Marshawn Lattimore at corner who's slowly starting to age, but outside of Marshawn Lattimore, of course, you got the Honey Badger, but you know, there's certain times where the Honey Badger has to be a run first safety. So you have to sometimes with the Panthers hit that play action fake, get that ball running, and then you'll have Xavier will get somewhere running down the field wide open. You know, throw screens to Deontay Johnson. You still have Adam Thielen, but he can be a good number 3 guy in this part of like this team. So this team will be, and this defense. Yeah, ready for this one? This defense will be a top 10 defense. You can look at the numbers all last year. They were top 5, top 15, top 10, even with the horrible offense, right? Derek Brown was running that interior. And you know, and that's the problem with the Saints too. It's like their offensive line has just not been great. And the crazy part is they use that whole old line on all first round picks. Just just a food for thought, right? Don't sleep on Carolina week one. Next one, the next two primetime games, and I'll be out, you know, and call it a day. Rams, Lions, I got mentioned. I got Rams to cover. That game was so close last season. If it wasn't for a questionable couple calls here and there, no calls, then the Rams probably would have won that game. Now, I don't think Puka, I think he's in the injury report, so you have to be mindful of that if you're going to pick the Rams, right? My honestly idea was just pick Lions on the money line and call it a day. Don't try to pick the spread. But you know, with the Lions, they have questions too. I didn't really talk about it like that. The corners, they got rookie corners. They got Carlton, who is a veteran player, but and they got Nick Robinson from the Raiders. So they got a couple veteran guys, but you were really relying on those 2 rookie first round and second round pick corners you're relying on. We have to really see, right? Because now you got Cooper Kupp, and if Puka does play, even if he's 75%. We know he's going to make some plays and he's going to be a distraction. We know how that goes. So we just really have to figure that out. And if Dan Campbell, this is the question I'm going to have, is he going to be smart in certain situations? Is he going to continue going on a fourth down all the time, or is it only when it makes sense? Right? Because this game could go down to him going for a fourth down, and who knows? Because you know how he is, man. He's gutsy. He is very gutsy. So we'll figure out how that turns out. And obviously Monday Night Football, Jets being +3.5. It was +5.5 not long ago, and I'm kind of kicking myself on not picking a +5.5. But I just have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers can make something happen. We know Shanahan has had a number on Aaron Rodgers when he's with the Packers, but now check this out. You got Salah, who is a Kyle Shanahan guy. I almost think that this could make something shake because he knows what Kyle Shanahan likes to do, what he don't like to do, what he likes, what his weaknesses is. Listen, you got a head coaching job for a reason, Salah, because you made that defense for the 49ers look so great. And after the Miko Ryans, they haven't looked great, right? They got rid of Steve Wilkes, and they pretty much did him dirty. They made him be the reason why they lost the Super Bowl. But nah, we're going to see on this game right here, right? If the best defense in the NFL with the Jets, right? We know McCaffrey has that injury. Can they do something? If they can limit the 49ers to like at least 17 points, I can see it being a 2017 game. Hell, I can see it being a 16-13 game. I think this game goes under the total. And that's just my thoughts about week one upset alerts. You guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you think is on upset alert? Let me know. Comment down low, please. As always, let's get this money and let's have a great day.